Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am going to try and get everything into this video that I originally intended to be here. I recorded about a half hour of audio for editing and it did not go through after like the first minute, and I don't know what happened, but hopefully this take will work. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and we're going to be taking a look at a new watercolor sketchbook. This is the Hahnemühle Watercolour Book, and I am very, very grateful to Suzanne, who is one of our viewers, for sending me not one, but two of these awesome sketchbooks. Now, during my top 5 favorite watercolor journal video, I had lots of you guys recommend this sketchbook to me, and I hadn't been able to try it out because they're kind of expensive here in the United States. So I put them on my wish list, and then my beautiful little fairy godmother Suzanne went ahead and purchased them for me along with some other things for the channel. So I just want to take a moment to say thank you, Suzanne. I am so grateful, and I'm really excited to share this sketchbook with all of you guys. Today I'm going to be using some Schmincke watercolors with the sketchbook. This is a paint brand that I am very familiar with, but I have some new colors that I wanted to try out, so that's what I'm going to be using here today. As for my brush, I started off here with the Escoda Versatile, and I thought that I wanted to use a traditional paintbrush for this sketch, but you're going to see in a few moments that I had some issues with this brush depositing extra pigment down in places I did not want it. So I eventually switched to a water brush. Oh my god, Denise, are you joking? It's the Pentel Aquash water brush. There we go. That's a tongue twister, man. Anyway, so I'll be using that for the majority of the painting. But in any case, I wanted to tell you a little bit about this sketchbook. So this is a Hahnemühle brand book, and I love their cold press cotton watercolor paper, so I was really excited to try this out. Now, I couldn't find information on the content of this paper, but I assume it's not cotton, or at least it's not fully cotton paper, because it didn't quite handle like that, but it is 200 GSM. It is a double-sided paper, which is super exciting. One of my big pet peeves in watercolor journals is when I can only use one side of it, or only feel like I can use one side of it to create really great art. I don't like the flow that those blank pages throw in there, so I am always looking for a double-sided sketchbook and was very happy to find it in this one. There are 30 pages, which mean there are 60 sides, which that just goes on forever. You can paint in the sketchbook for days and days and days and days and not run out of space, which I think is tremendous. And even the front cover and the back cover have a piece of the watercolor paper taped or glued to them, probably glued. Those two sheets are going to be a little bit bumpy and not quite even because they are glued to the fabric edges and that kind of thing, but you still can use them if you want to. So just wanted to throw that out there. There is a little strappy band on the cover so that it can close and not get opened up in your backpack or purse or travel supplies or whatever it may be. And there is a little bookmarky thing, a little ribbon, so you can know where you are in the journal. At the very beginning of the video, you guys saw a little tester page that I did with some different watercolor techniques and some different types of pigments to kind of see how the book would react, but that is the only thing that I have painted in this book before this spread that you are watching. And that brings me to my second point that I wanted to kind of talk about in this video, other than the supplies that I used, is I wanted to take a moment to kind of talk about what do you do if you find yourself just like completely not in the mood or unable to create. As many of you guys know, I mentioned in my last video that I have chronic pain, and I actually started a Discord for that. So if you also have chronic pain in the watercolor community and want some people to hang out with and talk to and kind of commiserate and share tips and happy things and everything like that, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description of this video so that you can go ahead and find us over there. But this topic that I'm talking about in the video can apply to anyone, not just those of us with chronic pain. Basically, I wanted to talk about what do you do when you just don't feel like you can create anything, and that can happen for a variety of reasons. And I just got in this mental state where I had time to paint. I physically could have sat up. I would have had to do it in short bursts, but I could have done something, and instead I chose not to do anything, and that kind of mood lasted for days, and I wanted to pull out of it. I knew that I didn't want to be stuck there, but it was really hard to find that motivation. So in addition to pulling some supplies that were kind of new, but you could also do this with supplies that are around your house. Like, you don't have to go out and buy new things for this. You could just find some supplies maybe that you haven't used for a while. That was number one for my motivation, was just wanting to do something new. And the second part of that is I picked a subject that I love, and that is personal to me. You guys might have heard me talk about in some other videos that I love dinosaurs. When I was a zoo educator, actually one of the first big projects that I had as a paid staff member was to revamp our dinosaur camp program. And so I know a little bit more than the average person probably on different dinosaurs, but my favorite has always been Parasaurolophus. This is more commonly like a duck-billed dinosaur is what some people call them, and they're in the hadrosaur family. And I wanted to go ahead and sketch out some different studies, not just a portrait, but like all these different types of things, and really just kind of dive into them. Now, please forgive my anatomy mistakes. I am no scientific illustrator. If you do want to see some beautiful scientific illustrations of dinosaurs, visit Mary Sanchez's channel. She is amazing and everything I aspire to be in terms of a dinosaur artist, because her work is just gorgeous. But anyway, I did what I could do, and I did it in kind of like a fast, sketchy type mode. I didn't want to overthink things. I didn't want this to necessarily be a finished piece. I just wanted to have fun with it and try and spark that part of my creativity again, since I was in such a rut. So on the first page there, you saw that I did a portrait of, ended up being a red and brown dinosaur, and then I did a skull study and a really, really bad skeletal study, but that it was just meant to be really, really fast, and I wanted to get the overall shapes down to help me kind of with the other sketches that I was doing. And on this page here, I wanted to go ahead and do a different color dinosaur. One of the coolest things about studying these types of animals is like we have lots of drawings of them, and we have skeletons of them, and we even have some preserved skin textures of like the armored dinosaurs that they found recently, but we don't know what color they were because that type of thing doesn't stand out in the fossil records. So we can use our imaginations, and it can be anything you want it to be. And just I played with this different green textures here, and I had the red ones on the page before. I did want to note here, you were just watching me glaze a yellow paint over the green, and a common problem that I have in a lot of watercolor sketchbooks, especially on the cellulose paper, is that the paint lifts too easily. Like, you can't layer or glaze without paint underneath lifting off, and that was not a problem in this Hahnemühle watercolor book, because it just really sucked in that paper, held on, or sucked in the pigment onto the paper, held onto it, and allowed me to glaze and to build depth in that way. So, gold star in that regard. Now, this can't be a full review because, again, this is my first spread in this sketchbook, and I have a lot more practice that I am going to want to do and to work with this before I can give you a completely informed opinion about it. But I am excited to go ahead and take it on a couple of adventures with me so that I can get to know it a little bit better. I did want to take a couple moments before this video wraps up to just let you know a little bit more about my schedule coming up here. Obviously, from the lack of a video earlier this week, I haven't been feeling well, so I haven't been able to do as much video production as I wanted to this week. And the only reason that's a bigger problem right now is because I'm about to go on a couple of vacations. I have a couple of trips planned, one semi-locally and one out of the country, and I wanted to have content to put up on the channel before I left. I don't know how much of that I'm going to get a chance to do before I have to leave, so I just wanted to apologize in advance that there won't be as much content coming out for me over the next couple of weeks, but I will try and get some things pre-recorded for you, and that way, when I get back from my trip, I know I said this the last time I went on a trip, but the second trip that I'm taking, the one out of the country, is like a true actual vacation where I don't have anything planned. It's just for fun and to relax, and I haven't taken a vacation like that in ages. So super, super excited about that. Can't wait to come back from that refreshed and ready to create more videos for you. I hope you forgive me in the meantime, but let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this type of video, if you want to see more sketchbook pages and little kind of artsy chats, or if you just want to see sketchbook pages with some music over them or something, let me know. We do have World Watercolor Month coming up here pretty quickly in July, and I will have some content for that for you guys. And I hope that you guys will be joining myself, Angela Fair, Charlie O'Shields, and Doodle Wash, and many, many other artists on that adventure when the time comes. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this particular video. Thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing if you would like to see more. And of course, mega thanks to Suzanne for sending me this sketchbook that I'm hoping that I can really enjoy and utilize over the next couple of months or even longer than that, since these are such awesome large sketchbooks. Thank you to my patrons for allowing this content to be possible here on YouTube, and I, as always, will look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, happy painting.